Okay, I'm in a group with Nick Ferguson and Eric Stanford. I'm Kylan Seeley. We're doing competitive advantage. Okay. All right, for this presentation, I'd like you guys to use your imagination. Imagine that you are a potential candidate for your dream job. All right, a company you love, huge starting salary, sign-on bonus, all right, generous benefits, the entire package. Okay, it's interview time. And you know this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In the interview, you're asked the question, why do you suppose it is that we should hire you? Before it breaks into a sweat. All right, you've practiced for this moment, but everything you're prepared to say is tangled up in your head, like Christmas lights. All right, you start listing your skills, how you can walk on water, and you end with this bold, bold statement. Because I can make your supply chain a competitive advantage. They stare at you, you stare back, you don't really know what's going on, but you come to find out they're scanning you with their BS indicator, and they figure out that your answer is genuine, so they go ahead and hire you on the spot. First staff meeting. Your supply chain manager, which also happens to be the person you interviewed with, says, in the executive meeting I was told that our supply chain needs to have more of a competitive advantage. Hey newbie, he points at you. Remember that time when you unequivocally declared that you could give our supply chain a competitive advantage? Well, why don't you back that up right now? All right, we need some ideas. So you knew this day would come. It's time to shine. You begin. A fundamental shift in the ways in which companies compete is driving a new way of thinking. All right, today, rather than companies compete against companies, supply chains are competing against supply chains. This is why we need to have a competitive advantage, and this is how we do it. Michael Porter, business professor at Harvard University and recognized strategic scholar, states that competitive advantage boils down to two simple factors: cost and differentiation. A supply chain can gain a competitive advantage by reducing costs and by improving responsiveness. Let's first focus on reducing supply chain costs. Supply chain typically makes up the single largest cost component of a corporation's revenue, typically 55 to 85%. I'm sure it's no different here at this company. And there's certainly room to reduce costs, but where should we start? What techniques are available? Well, let me tell you, every student of supply chain management at Weber State University has received extensive education pertaining to effective supply chain management cost reduction techniques. Techniques such as inventory management, managing supplier relations, managing information flows, and benchmarking. Speaking of benchmarking, Dell is a company that created a competitive advantage by lowering costs. They implemented a state-of-the-art inventory management technique, JIT. This made possible the practice of selling directly to customers, and they were able to drastically reduce holding and obsolescence costs. Dell also re-engineered its processes by nurturing strategic alliances with logistics suppliers, such that every Dell order is capable of being built, customized, and shipped within 8 hours. Dell reduced the number of suppliers from an industry average of 130 to just 60. And this dramatically reduced costs as well. Walmart. By mastering information technology, Walmart has established itself as an industry leader. Walmart pioneered barcode technology and is now paving the way for RFID technology. They also pioneered the concept of cross-docking, all great cost-reducing techniques. Now let's move from cost leadership to differentiation. Differentiation is created by improving responsiveness. It is created when typical supply chain costs are necessarily increased to perform business functions in such a way that better satisfy customer demand. Customers gladly pay more for the added benefit. Zara is a popular clothing company based in Spain. They differentiate their product by improving response time from their suppliers in Asia. Contrary to the cost-saving technique of reducing supplier base, this company actually uses more suppliers. They have access to fabric, they have access to more fabric and reduced reliance on a single source. Zara purchases gray sweaters from suppliers. The sweaters are then dyed in local workshops after their advanced customer feedback program provides up-to-date information on which colors are most popular. This process prevents the needs for shipping the materials back to third parties outside the country. Porter warned that pursuing cost and differentiation techniques simultaneously is seldom effective. A firm must choose one alternative or the other, but if they can do both, this qualifies as a no-brainer. We must also consider the importance of properly matching our supply chain to our products and to our customers' needs. No amount of money invested in cost improvement aimed at improving our efficiency will help us gain competitive advantage in a market that serves innovative products. In conclusion, there is a multitude of cost reduction techniques, as well as methods to improve responsiveness. These techniques require an investment of time and money, yet the resulting benefits will far outweigh any potential costs. In truth, the changing business environment requires that we act immediately. And if we choose a technique that improves on an existing core competency by lowering costs or improving responsiveness, we are destined to emerge with a strong, sustainable, competitive advantage. The only real question remaining is, where should we begin?